Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Uploaded. What do we got here? Well, I do believe we've got an EVGA 780 classified. What's so classified about it? Maybe that it's overclocked? Perhaps because if you look on the box, it actually doesn't say overclocked anywhere on the front of it. It does tell you it's a double BIOS, because that tells you a lot. And ACX active, cooling extreme. But other than that, it's classified. It's secret. But what's secret about it? Well, it is the pinnacle of the overclocking card that EVGA makes, and they've got this one pushed, I believe, as far as they push their standard 780, not their TI. They do make a TI classified as well, which is like, if you want the best of the best, that's what to go with. I have a little bit of history with these 780s, though. If you watched the build video that I did for my Xeon build, you probably noticed I was using a gigahertz edition with the Wind Force cooler on it. That was a great card, stayed cool, it was very overclockable. However, it suffered a really obnoxious coil whine. So Amazon being great, let me return it, and I actually exchanged it. Then I got a 780 OC, which has the ACX cooling. That card was just really unstable. I think one of the fans was bad in it because even at stock, it was just overheating and shutting down. So then I got a 780 classified, and it had a ball bearing or something that was off in it. So the fan on the one closest to the front of the case, I guess if you're looking at the card, it was the right fan, was wobbling, especially like 50 to 60% fan speed. So it was going like boom, 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 boom. So that went back, and I did an exchange, and Amazon was nice enough to send this local express delivery, and boom, it's here. So, by the way, I have a question for you. Is it blasphemy for me to have a desktop background with a AMD 8350 on a 4770K system? I don't know. All right, enough of my chatter. Just give you a little history of this, though. Looking at the box, usual and customary EVGA look. They've been going with this for a little while now. And looking at the front of the box, like I said, it doesn't really tell you much. But what do you really need to know? It's 780. And if you're buying this card, you probably already know what's up. But if you look at the back, there's more information than you could ever possibly want to know about the card. All right, what do we got here? I could be really boring, and I could read everything off. There's like 847.4 bullet points on here, but let me see if anything really stands out here as something to really want to call your attention to. It really doesn't look like it. I was hoping it would have the actual clock speed they've got this at somewhere on here, but... All right, so the clock speed's not on the card. I'm sorry. I'll put it down in the description or on the video. You know what? I'll put it right along here, this area. But yeah, this supports 4 concurrent displays. Fancy phrasing. And this always makes me laugh. EVGA really likes to pump this up. Do not settle for second best. Why not? Because they're number one. Number one seller of NVIDIA-based products. Number one excellent award 2012 for graphics cards with like 1,000 asterisks behind it, whatever that means. Number one excellence awards 2012 for motherboards, more asterisks, doesn't really pertain to this. And performance leader in 3D Mark. Well, we'll see. All right, let's cut into the box. This looks like a good entry point. Here we go. Wow, that's some serious shrink wrapping. Oh, there we go. All right, beautiful. Again, kind of a sucker for matte finishes on boxes. I don't know why. I just think it makes them look really cool. Gotta save this box. It's cool looking. That's a good thing I saved the other one because I'd send it back. All right, so let's pick a side. I'll pick this side. Slice. Don't cut your finger off. All right, there we go. So I'm bust open the side. There you go. Oh, ooh, look at that. Please note, if your product is defective, don't send it back to who sold it to you. Oops, I didn't follow that rule. All right, so pulling this out of the box. All right. It's like Christmas. You've got these now. Every time I see these cables, I get a little confused. Let me look at my card in there now. So that's what would plug in. So I guess this takes 2 6-pin and converts it to an 8-pin. All right, then you got your usual DVI to D-sub, old school VGA. All right, now this is actually pretty important. This is a little like thermal, what do they call this? non-conductive film to apply to an aftermarket heatsink. So if you're going to take off the heatsink that comes with the ACX cooling heatsink, you will want to use this, and it shows you where to put it. It's kind of like over the MOSFETs on the card so that you don't short it out if you put on like a liquid cooler or something like that. Important message, this is for the BIOS selector actually. Before switching the BIOS switch, turn it off and it shows the different kind of cards and where the switch is. So if you're going to overclock it, you might want to be switching it into like the LN2 BIOS. It's a BIOS that they have on there for if you're going to do nitrogen, liquid nitrogen cooling, but you can use it. You know, it seems from what I've experienced, switching into the secondary BIOS gives you a little bit better of an overclock. All right, you got the pin, the EVGA, powered by EVGA case badge pin. You can wear it around. That'd make it cool. And of course, the driver disc, which is useless. Download the newest drivers. Download them. Manual. All right, here you go. Do not use the small PCI Express. Use the big PCI Express. Pretty sure you could probably figure that out yourself. What else? I don't even care about that. Quick start guide. Important notice. Cutting edge. Graphics BIOS fully capable with motherboard. Basically, I think this is telling you if your motherboard doesn't see this card, contact your motherboard manufacturer. Not their problem. And then finally, this is in every EVGA I've opened for quite a while. Just please allow the graphics card to cool for 2 minutes, and then it shows how to hook it up. Don't burn yourself. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Stuff's going everywhere. All right. Enthusiast built flames and a wrench because your wrench is on fire because your computer's so fast with this card and stuff's just like bursting into flames. And in case you're kind of indecisive, they give you 2 different case badges. You can stick them on your computer if you're cool. And then finally, the useless poster because it has so many creases in it, but you know, how else are you going to get it to you? Not like they can roll it up. Boy, am I even in the frame here? Game of Pwns. Boy, this is actually a really big poster. Arm yourself, EVGA. So, you know, fairly generous posterness. All right, time to get into the card. Smells like unnatural. It's got foam on it, obviously, which is nice because if you get the 780 just OC with the active cooling extreme, and I'm assuming the stock one as well, the reference, that's the word I'm looking for. Those 2 came in just like a plastic shell. It was a see-through plastic shell, and it didn't seem like the best packaging on earth. I mean, but my card arrived without any problems, so. But this just feels better. I mean, you know, I feel like I could throw this on the floor, which I'm not going to, and the card would survive. So take this, pop it out, and boom. Oh, yeah. There's the card. So, ooh, look at how reflective it is. Reflective. So if I remember correctly from last time, this requires a little bit of muscle. Yeah, it's really, I mean, it's not coming out of there. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe that's why the fans had a problem last time. It's free. I have freed it. All right, big beefy card, as to be expected. So let me go ahead and get this off of here. Now, one of the things to note with this particular card, and it's really important actually, so I'm going to point it out right away, if I can get it out. It's so big it's ripping through the anti-static bag. Ah, free, be free. All right, so here it is in all of its glory. Has all the connections that you expect. Obviously, you've got the ACX cooling on here, which is on a larger cooler than the standard ACX. It has more room at the top and bottom. Now, that's important to note because if you look, try to turn it here. This card sticks out quite a bit from where the bracket's actually going to screw down onto your motherboard. That's important to note because if you don't have a great deal of clearance, especially in non-tower systems, smaller systems, you know, which you probably wouldn't be entertaining this card anyway, but just really make sure you've got that clearance because not only are you going to need that like a little over 1 inch that's right there, you're going to also need clearance because your power goes in, not here, that's SLI, but your power goes in here, and it does take two 8-pin, so obviously you have those adapters for that. need room. This bad boy needs space. Now, looking at the connections on the front of the card, or back, or it's kind of like outer space. I don't really know what you consider what here. DVI-D, DVI-I. Then you've got HDMI and DisplayPort. This card is 4K ready, so you're good to go there with the DisplayPort. So like I said, this card is overclocked out of the box, which is nice. So if you don't want to do any overclocking on it, you don't have to, but it would be kind of foolish not to, considering that you bought the classified edition. There's a reason that that cooler is so big. It's big because the card is meant to overclock. This has a custom PCB. It's got slightly higher quality components. It has more power input because it's got the two 8-pins. So this card is meant to be pushed. And EVGA says, push this card. That's what it's for. It even has, you know, the instructions in there for if you take off the heatsink to liquid cool it. I mean, it's ready to go. So I'm going to push it and see what kind of benchmarks I can get on stock, and then what benchmarks I'm going to get at a reasonable overclock. I don't like to take overclocks like to the absolute limit. I find out what the max is and I dial it back just a little bit, and then that's kind of where I chill. So yeah, it's a very solid card, very well built, big, and it'll be interesting to see if this one's a little bit quieter than the last one was. Hopefully it doesn't rattle itself out of the case. But yeah, that's it. That's the 780 classified, and the TI classified, from what I understand, looks pretty much exactly the same. I do have a back plate that I'm going to put on this card, so you'll be able to check out the video for that soon as well, if it's not already up, depending on when you're watching this. And other than that, I'm going to pop this one in place of the one that's in my computer and get toying around with it, see what kind of numbers I can get. All right, so as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'd much appreciate that. And, you know, if you didn't like it, just give it the thumbs down. That's cool, I understand. So be sure to check back soon for pretty much just more randomness. I never know what I'm going to do next.